All right, so thank you everybody for joining our meeting with Mrs. Jain. She's going to take us through her experience with high school and college. We hope this webinar can help answer your questions about college and allow students to find their right path.
And for the people who are new to SparkProLearn, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to providing volunteer services throughout the United States. Our vision is to empower and nurture children of all ages to help them align their potential early on by connecting them with professionals and students from premium colleges.
If you have any questions for Mrs. Jain, please put them in the chat for moderators to see. So without further ado, Priya, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Priya. I'm currently a sophomore or second year bioengineering student. I'm also a pre-med at the University of Maryland.
All right, sounds good.
Right. Yeah, we'll get started right away with the questions. Could you first explain to us what bioengineering exactly is and how it's different than engineering in general?
Yeah, sure. So bioengineering is it's like a subsection of engineering, and it relates specifically to, well, there's like a wide array of things you could do within bioengineering, but like from genetic engineering, synthetic biology, you could go into like precision medicine, you can go into the pharmaceutical aspect of bioengineering, or if you want something more physical, you could go into like building prosthetics, building biomedical and surgical devices.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you like first become interested in biology and engineering?
Yeah, so in high school, I was pretty set on becoming a physician and going to medical school, but I didn't really know what major I wanted to do in my undergraduate years. So I joined clubs such as like the physics club and like more math related things. And I learned that I was interested in engineering. And I always knew I liked medicine. So I felt that bioengineering was a good mix of my two interests.
Right. So what specifically in it did you like enjoy learning about?
In bioengineering or?
Right. In bioengineering, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm interested in like genetic engineering and precision medicine. I really like to see like how we can use the engineering concepts and like living biological systems together to create medicine.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like we have a question in the chat. Are bioengineering and pre-med related in any way?
There's like overlap in like the courses you take, but like with both concepts, you can say that, well, pre-med is, you know, you want to go into medical school. So bioengineering, we learn a lot about medicine and like human anatomy and how we can apply engineering principles to the human body. So they're related in the way that they both learn about human anatomy and medicine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So how did your academic stats look, like your SAT, your ACT?
So like specific numbers, are you like?
Yeah,
so,
if you remember.
Okay, so I took the ACT, I got 34 on the ACT. So if you want, like, do you want to break down or like?
I mean, if you know how to break it down, I guess you could break it down, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I got I think I got perfect scores on my English and science, or not English and reading sections. And then math, I think I got a 33, and science, I think I also got a 33.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, and going back to high school, how did you like cultivate your interest in these fields? And did you like participate in any certain extracurriculars or like internships?
Yes, so in high school, I was an intern at the Johns Hopkins Suburban Hospital, and I also worked at Holy Cross Hospital. And then I was also part of the physics club in my high school, which was we participated in like the physics Olympics and things like that. So like working at hospitals really helped me to cultivate my interest in medicine and just wanting to go into patient care and being pre-med. And the physics club was just like a way, like just a club I joined, but it really helped to develop my interest in engineering and just like thinking in like terms of design.
Okay.
So were there like any other fields that you were interested in before you discovered biology and engineering?
Yes. So I was interested in like public health and like the biology aspect. I know a lot of pre-med students who also do public health, which explores more into like, I guess you could say like the kind of like what the CDC does right now with public health and like more the like policy side of medicine. So that's also a path you can take.
Right, and we have a question in the chat. Did school help with any internship during high school?
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
so in terms of classes, you can take classes such as like AP biology, chemistry, or like my school offered anatomy, which really helped me to apply to my internships. I guess it just provided me a background on topics that would be covered in internships. But I don't think there's any like specific things you need to do in school to apply for internships.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also have another question in the chat. What are the differences between bioengineering and biotech?
I think bioengineering and biotechnology go hand in hand pretty much. I guess bioengineering just covers a larger array of topics. So biotech would be like biomedical instrumentation and like surgical equipment and things like that, while bioengineering also covers genetic engineering, synthetic biology, precision medicine, things like that.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. And going to your college application, so why did you exactly decide to apply to UMD? Did you find the application process to be difficult? And how many colleges did you initially apply to?
Yes, so I was really set on like pre-med and schools that were known for like I guess like they're like medical schools, but I learned that that's not very important because whatever your undergraduate school doesn't matter for whatever medical school you applied to. So I think I applied to around 10 schools across the country. And what was the other part of the question?
Did you find the application process to be difficult in any way?
I wouldn't say the application process was difficult, but since I was applying to so many schools, it would have been easier if I started my application process earlier. I would say the summer before your senior year would be the best time to start if you plan on applying to many schools, because there's like supplemental essays that you need to get done as well.
Right, and the summer before senior year, is that when you start like, do you recommend working on your essays and everything?
Yes, I recommend just trying to have your essays done, because if you're applying early action to your schools, that's like November, October is the deadline for early action. So it's much easier to just get everything done. And so you don't have to do both school and writing your essays.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. So what careers are best for those majoring in bioengineering? Like in these careers, like what's the average? I mean, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but like what careers are best for those majoring in bioengineering?
Yeah, so there's a lot of careers, different paths you can go down with bioengineering. You could go into the research aspect of bioengineering. You could be a consultant, like that's a big thing I've noticed. You could go into manufacturing. Yeah, so what are the average starting salaries? I'm not sure, but I know like 70 to 80K is the starting salary if like of a bioengineer that's straight out of undergrad, but most bioengineers choose to either get a PhD or a master's afterwards.
Right, and we have another question in the chat. How is job marketing? I think it's marketing / career path, which is bachelor. in bioengineering?
Yeah, so the job market, I know plenty of seniors who've just got their bachelor's degrees and went straight into the bioengineering field. So the job market, especially in this area, is pretty good for bioengineering students. You can work at companies such as AstraZeneca, you can work at consulting firms such as Deloitte or yeah, so there's plenty of opportunities here, but again, a lot of bioengineering students choose to also get higher education.
Okay. And there's another question, is computer science used in bioengineering?
Yeah, I would say computer science is a big part of bioengineering, and a lot of students choose to also do computer science. And the University of Maryland has a new program called biocomputational methods, which is a mixture of bioengineering and computer science.
So regarding the programming languages, is it Java, Python, and that kind of stuff? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so I know Python, C++ are a big part of it, but there's also specific to engineering languages such as MATLAB that we have to learn as engineers as well.
Okay. Yeah, and there's another question in the chat. What's the foreseen, if you notice, you can answer, what's the foreseen percentage increase of job implementation for majors in bioengineering?
Yeah, I know that bioengineering is a really growing field right now, especially everyone probably knows with Moderna and Pfizer and all these major bioengineering companies. It's a big field right now. I don't know an exact percentage, but yeah.
Yeah, all right. We have another question in the chat. Do you use bioengineering in agriculture or?
Yes, so this year I was actually a research leader for a project such as that. So I'll give you an example of what research we did as bioengineers in agriculture. So phosphorus pollution is a big issue with agriculture fertilizer runoff. So as bioengineers, we basically genetically engineered E. coli to take in phosphorus from the environment and store it so that we could take it out of the bay or the Chesapeake Bay to reduce pollution. So you can use bioengineering in agriculture.
And there's another question. How do dual majors combine, for example, computer science and bioengineering to have a better job outlook?
I'm not sure that at the University of Maryland, at least, that we have something where you can combine both bioengineering and comp sci. Maybe you can do a minor in one, but we do have programs such as biocomputational engineering, where you can combine both computer science and bioengineering for better job outlooks. And
so in Northwest, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just going to answer that question.
All right.
Yeah, specific programs at Northwest that can help pursue a career in bioengineering. I'm not sure if there's something specific to bioengineering, but you can definitely just join engineering, STEM related clubs that could help you get a head start on engineering.
Right, and going back to your college experience, do you find it as difficult, easier, or much harder than high school?
Right. So college is different from high school in a way that if you're a student that feels, you don't have to study as much, or you get good grades without having to put a lot of effort in, it definitely changes in college where you have to review your material every day after class. So it's not harder. It's just you have to keep up to date with your schoolwork because you don't get daily homework. You don't have classes every day. So you have to put in that work yourself every single day, or else it's really easy to, fall behind.
All right, yeah. So I have a question myself. So were there any APs that you specifically took that were related to bioengineering?
Yes, so I would highly recommend if you want to do bioengineering, you take AP Physics and AP Biology and AP Chemistry. These classes, you do have to retake them. So I took AP Biology, but I had to retake it because it's biology for engineers. So then you'll have chemistry for engineers. So at UMD, the classes are specific to engineers, but since I took AP Biology, AP Chemistry in high school, it made it much easier on me because the content was already familiar to me.
Right. Okay. I see. And do you have any thoughts or advice for underclassmen in high school, like regarding sports or clubs?
Yeah, so clubs are definitely helpful. Just if you want to show your interest in STEM and engineering, I suggest you do STEM related clubs, but it's also nice to show colleges that you are a well-rounded student. So you should also participate in activities that you like to do, like sports, whatever activities you like to do, and then clubs, if you can have your STEM related clubs as well as like other clubs that you enjoy.
Mhm. Right. And
Go ahead.
just another question: is NJHS useful in this regard?
So NJHS is National.
National
Juniors
Junior Honor
Honor
Society.
Society, yeah.
So that is in middle school,
Yeah,
or
I think it's in middle school mainly.
yeah, it's definitely good to be a part of clubs like that. It's good for like writing on your resume, and like it helps you get more opportunities in like the future. So yeah.
So like in one of the topics in bioengineering, like let's say could you like rephrase those, like re-say those topics again? So like
Yeah,
maybe
for
go in detail about like those topics. So, yeah.
yeah. So I can start with what I found the most interesting in
Mhm.
bioengineering, and that's called precision medicine.
Yeah.
So like common example, like Tylenol, that's like a common like drug we take. So when like you have a headache or anything. So Tylenol basically affects like all of your body. Like if you have a headache, it's not that the Tylenol will just, get rid of your headache. There, like all of your body is affected from that drug. So what precision medicine tries to do is it tries to target the one part of your body that is affected rather than the whole body. So that can reduce like damage to the rest of your body rather than, it'll target one part of your body rather than the whole body. So things such as drug delivery, which is, you can take like viruses that already exist and engineer them to, instead of harming your body, you can insert them with whatever genes you want and deliver that to your body instead of, instead of harming it. So sorry, I didn't describe that very well, but
It's fine,
there's just so there's drug delivery. You can genetically engineer parts of your body to basically like reduce the impacts of disease. And then you can also go into like the more mechanical engineering aspect of bioengineering, which is like prosthetics. So that involves that's a combination. That's like robotics, but you also have to know knowledge of the human body. So like artificial hearts, prosthetic limbs, and surgical equipment or biomedical instrumentation. We can see that there's like a lot of improvements in surgical equipment where doctors are using like robots to perform surgery. So that's also what you could do with bioengineering. And then manufacturing is working with like larger companies for the creation of things such as vaccines. You work both in like a lab and in like an actual manufacturing plant where you can help oversee the development of drugs.
Right. That sounds great. And just another question in the chat. do vaccines fall under the bioengineering category, or are they more into like biotechnology?
Yeah. Again, bioengineering is like a large umbrella over like different aspects. So yes, I would say vaccines are created using bioengineering.
Okay. And adding on to that, is it an entirely molecular engineering process, or are larger robots used as well? If you,
Yes. So yeah, you can go into whatever you find interest in more. So I'm interested in the molecular aspect, but people do use larger robots as well. There's like bioreactors, prosthetics, surgical equipment. So yes, you can use larger robots as well.
right. And one question I also had was, how do you manage your time, like throughout high school, and like stay productive at the same time?
Yeah. I would just say like, your time is important. So use your class time wisely. So when you're in school, if you just like pay attention to what's being said, it can make it so much easier for you to not have to relearn material when you get home. And just like I played volleyball in high school, so I had practice until like 5, like 6:30 sometimes. So just it helps to just plan everything out. You after your practice, you just get your work done. And then you can just have time for other activities as well. So it's just nice to have a schedule to know when things are happening. So you aren't surprised by when you have an assignment due.
Okay. Yeah, and I also heard that like planners are like a must in high school. Would you like agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's just like easier to organize your thoughts and know that when you have things due. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just want to thank you, Priya, so much for taking your time out of your day and spending this little block of time with us to share your experiences in high school and college. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
All right, thank you.